Hello, this is episode 68 of The Way of Jesus and is being recorded for the August 2026 broadcast. Today's topic is the teachings of Malachi on the coming of Melchizedek. The fourth chapter of Malachi opens with a dire warning for those who have forsaken God, chosen evil, and following the way of the Antichrist. This warning concerns the coming of the day of the Lord, a day which will be precipitated by the Antichrist's capture of Jerusalem. The prophet Daniel characterized this darkest of days as a time of trouble, such as never has been since there was a nation till that time. Daniel 12:1. Here's how Malachi portrays this time. For behold, the day comes, burning like an oven, when all the arrogant and all evildoers will be stubble. The day that comes shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, so that it will leave them neither root nor branch. This is certainly an alarming time. But Malachi makes clear that this coming destruction will not be visited on all equally. The loyal servants of God may take comfort in Malachi's prophecy that God's purpose will be to destroy all the arrogant and all evildoers. Malachi 4:1. The defenders of Jerusalem, empowered by divine forces led by Melchizedek, will utterly vanquish the forces of the Antichrist. Jerusalem will be freed, and the righteous Jews will live in peace and security forever. Here's how Malachi portrays this victory of the righteous over the Antichrist forces. But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall rise, with healing in its wings. And you shall tread down the wicked, for they will be ashes under the soles of your feet on the day when I act, says the Lord of hosts. Malachi 4:2 and 3. Malachi is the last chapter of the Old Testament, and it contains many important teachings. They may be enumerated as follows. First, Malachi confirms Psalm 110's identification of Melchizedek as the Jewish deliverer. In this psalm, God says to Melchizedek, "Sit at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool." The Lord sends forth from Zion your mighty scepter. The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. The Lord is at your right hand. He will shatter kings on the day of his wrath. He will execute judgment among the nations, filling them with corpses. He will shatter chiefs over the wide earth. Psalm 110, 1 and 2, and 4 through 6. Here's how Malachi describes this time of Melchizedek's deliverance of the Jews. The Lord whom you seek will suddenly come to his temple, the messenger of the covenant in whom you delight. Behold, he is coming, says the Lord of hosts. But who can endure the day of his coming? And who can stand when he appears? For behold, the day comes, burning like an oven, when all the arrogant and all evildoers will be stubble. The day that comes shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, so that it will leave them neither root nor branch. Malachi 3, 1 and 2, and chapter 4, verse 1. Both of these passages are references to the time of the end of the present world order, when Melchizedek will come to deliver the Jews and destroy the forces of evil led by the Antichrist. Second, when Malachi speaks of the Lord whom you seek, he is referring to Melchizedek. This is validated by Psalm 110, where David refers to Melchizedek as my Lord. David regarded Melchizedek as his Lord because he was Lord and priest of the Most High God to Abraham, the founder of the Jewish religion. Melchizedek was exalted as Lord by Abraham, David, and most followers of the Jewish religion. Third, Malachi identifies Melchizedek as the messenger of the covenant. This is the covenant between God and humanity, whereby God promises to bestow his favor on those who will trust in him and follow his instructions. Malachi understood that this good news of God's covenant with mankind was brought to Abraham by God's divine messenger, Melchizedek. This is why Malachi refers to Melchizedek as the messenger of the covenant. Fourth, Melchizedek is coming to deliver the righteous from a world blighted by evil. The literal meaning of Melchizedek is King of Righteousness, and this is a very apt description of this divine Son. Melchizedek first came to earth at the time of Abraham, when the world was dominated by polytheism and had lost sight of God's righteousness. He taught Abraham the true concept of God, thus providing a religious uplift to a world mired in spiritual darkness, and helped to prepare the way for the coming of Jesus. The prophecy of Malachi is that this same Melchizedek will return to our world and deliver the righteous followers of God from evil and the oppression of the Antichrist. Those who live secular and godless lives must turn back to God if they hope to survive this great and terrible day of the Lord. Here's what Malachi teaches concerning the survival of the righteous. A book of remembrance was written before him of those who feared the Lord and thought on his name. They shall be mine, says the Lord of hosts, my special possession on the day when I act. And I will spare them, as a man spares his son who serves him. Then once more you shall distinguish between the righteous and the wicked, between one who serves God and one who does not serve him. Malachi 3, 11, 12, and 16 through 18. Fifth, following Melchizedek's deliverance of the righteous Jews, the land of Israel will become a land of delight. Malachi records that, then all nations will call you blessed, for you will be a land of delight, says the Lord of hosts. Malachi 3:12. In conclusion, Malachi confirms David's revelation in Psalm 110 that Melchizedek is the promised deliverer of the Jews. Malachi provides yet another of the many prophecies of a final battle between good and evil, in which God will send a divine Son to rescue our world from the clutch of evil. This promised deliverer is Melchizedek, whom Malachi identifies as the messenger of the covenant. The righteous will survive this day of the Lord, and Melchizedek will defeat the evil forces that have grown strong in our world. Israel will become a land of the light. This concludes episode 68. The next episode will explore the final 2 verses of Malachi, which present his famous prophecy of Elijah the prophet, who will come before Melchizedek and prepare the way for his appearance. If you like this podcast and found it helpful, I invite you to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I've recently published a new book entitled, I Am a Son of God. The premise of this book is the faith acceptance of Jesus' teachings that we are all sons and daughters of God. It then asks the question that naturally arises. What does it mean to be a son of God? And more importantly, what does it mean to live as a son of God? This book provides answers to this important question in the form of 20 short chapters which address various aspects of living as a child of God. This book is available from Amazon.com, and its average review is 5 stars. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, may God guide and bless you and bring you peace.